My name is Layla Amadin and welcome to Hallam News. Today's top story, Remembrance Day, a day where those who served on the British forces and died are remembered. A few places have been dedicated for those soldiers who died in the wars of Iraq and Afghanistan. And now finally, a place has been made for the 23 soldiers killed in the Second World War.
They gathered to remember those who have made the ultimate sacrifice. But today was also about making sure they'll never be forgotten by inscribing their names in permanent memorial.
He was popular, Jake. He knew a lot of people, he had a lot of friends. But in each, if it's, Dewsbury or New Mill where I live, or, Huddersfield, he's touched everybody.
Today was also about righting some wrongs and marking the sacrifice some made many years ago. The scene was repeated in Newbold in Chesterfield. They lost 23 men in World War II. Today, their names were added, along with that of Private Ben Ford, killed in Afghanistan 5 years ago.
It means a great deal to have his name on there, but by the same token, it took a lot longer to get the guys from the Second World War on there, and we're very proud to have him along with those.
An important day for two communities. Dan Johnson, BBC Look North.
In other news, hundreds of birds were found washed up on the shore of East Yorkshire's coast. It is believed that strong winds and storms triggered a food shortage for the starving birds. The birds affected by this were mostly puffins and guillemots. Many of the birds found have died, but the rest have been treated at the Scarborough Sea Life Centre and released back at sea once they have fully recovered. Staying in Yorkshire, the University of Sheffield held a Spring to Jobs fair earlier this year at the Octagon Centre. It was open for students as well as members of the public. The event was organised by the Career Services at the University of Sheffield and Sheffield Hallam University. It was an opportunity for students to meet potential employers and to get a better idea of what lies ahead after graduation. Those who participated were advised about business opportunities and graduate schemes in order to help them start their future. More exciting news for Sheffield, a circus workshop was held at the Hubs earlier this year. Circus folk came from across Sheffield to participate. The event was held to bring circus performers together to create a network as well to enhance their acts. The workshop was intended for students, but people from different parts of the world, such as France and Brazil, also showed interest. No special skills were needed from those participating in the event. Not all participants were professionals, but many of them are from Sheffield's local Greentop Circus. Circus Hallam's president Charlie Ledger thinks they are fortunate.
We're quite lucky in Sheffield because there's a circus school here, so we've got a community of professional artists and also like hobby jugglers and that who've got a reasonably high level, but they still just do it for fun. So it's good we've got people who can share their knowledge and skills.
Last on the news today, a new climbing wall called the Foundry has been opened today in Sheffield. It is said to be part of a general growth in climbing throughout the Steel City. An academy will be opened for the best 20 young climbers in the city who will be taught by the best climbers in the world.
If you take South Yorkshire's best young climbers, the country's best climbing wall, and the world's best in their sport, you get something pretty special.
You can do your own things on the wall.
I just like really the feeling when you get to the top, because you have to put in a lot of energy, but it's worth it when you get to the top.
At the Foundry in Sheffield, they've handpicked 20 of the best young climbers in South Yorkshire and formed the Foundry Academy. But that's not all. Training them are legends of the sport. Jerry Moffat was widely acknowledged as the world's best climber for 2 decades. Neil Bentley doubled for Matt Damon in The Bourne Identity.
When I started, you never saw young climbers, and you see these little girls, maybe 8, 9, 10, and they're climbing like proper climbers, and they're up there and they're hanging on, they're pulling the rope up and clipping it in. They just look like any other pro, but they're just young kids, so it's exciting to watch.
It's just great to be able to pass on, the knowledge that I've accumulated over the last 25 years of climbing, and see these young lads, and the girls in here actually improve, their own climbing. In the centre here and over then outdoors on the crag as well.
What's it like being taught by some of the world's best climbers?
Brilliant. It's like the best thing.
And what are they teaching you?
Tactics and what to climb and everything.
I'm going to have a go now. It could take some time, so you might want to go make yourselves a cup of tea. I did it! It has to be said, I probably picked one of the easier walls, but I did it.
I was very pleased with myself, but my efforts were put in the shade by these young climbing stars of the future.
That's all the news for today. Thank you for joining us, and goodbye. Yeah, sure.